TikTok compilation that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Here's what it takes to feed 6 kids in about a week and a half. You want to have 6 kids? This is your Trader Joe's receipt. Keep going. Oh my God.
Did we make him have 6 kids? And almost everything on that list is a pre-made meal.
This is the best evidence that there was a conspiracy to kill JFK. Because John Stringer, he was the autopsy photographer that night, when he was shown the pictures that he was supposed to have taken of Kennedy's brain, he said, "This is Ansco. That's a type of film. I didn't use Ansco." And you see these numbers here at the bottom? That means they were in a press pack. They were taken serially. I didn't do that. And so Jeremy Gunn then asked him, he said, "Are you ready to deny you took these pictures?" And he goes, "If that's Ansco and that's a press pack, I didn't take these pictures." He didn't take the pictures. And in the film, we talk about this, who might have taken them. The FBI, and we talk about this in the film, they had a different version of the 3 bullets, okay? They said all 3 bullets hit inside of the car, the automobile. They didn't have a single bullet theory. The single bullet theory says that one projectile went through Kennedy, emerged out of his throat, went into Conley, through his back, out his right chest, smashed his wrist, his right wrist, and then went this way into his left thigh.
It was set up from start to finish. The perpetrators even controlled the autopsy, investigation, everything. It was a coup, and they're still running the show. That's why it hasn't come out yet.
Talking, I can't believe Apple did this. Open settings, scroll down, select privacy and security, scroll down, choose journaling suggestions. Look guys, are you seeing this or is it just me? Apple has turned this privacy feature on by default. Ugh, that is freaking creepy. Turn it off, we don't need it. Share this with your family and friends, guys.
What it means, for example, you go to a party with someone and take pictures together, the journal will be able to include you in the journal suggestion regarding that party. I saw this on IG. It's a Tasmanian wolf dog.
Harley Quinn. She's not answering.
She's not answering.
Let's jump it.
We're in a break.
The little girl sounds like a little Harley Quinn.
So there has been another Llorona sighting, and I have the photo to prove it. But first, a quick little backstory. The person who submitted this wishes to remain anonymous, so we're gonna call her April. One other thing, this story took place in Indiana, and it was not that long ago. On this particular day, it had rained all day. At about 9 p.m., the rain finally stopped, so April, her husband, and daughter decided to go out for a walk. They ended up walking down towards this lake that has a beautiful fountain and lights up at night. They also have benches right around it, so they decided to sit down and just enjoy the scenery. Not long after they sat down, they heard a woman scream. April can't describe it, but she is sure that no animal would make this sound. It sounded like a woman screaming. The screaming was coming towards the lake, but when they looked over there, they couldn't see anything. April then asked her husband if he heard it. He says he didn't hear it. It was just April and her daughter who heard it. At this point, April started to feel like she wasn't welcome, like this feeling of dread came over her. They decided to snap a couple pictures because the lake was gorgeous and they were really enjoying their time until this whole screaming thing started. It wasn't until they got home that they looked at the photos and saw it. Now this is the first photo that they took of the lake. You can see the whole outline of the lake, the fountain, the lights. It's gorgeous. Now this is the photo with her daughter in it. I want you to focus up into that corner. I'm going to show you guys a close-up. There, you can clearly see something white standing there that wasn't there before. Now here's the before and here's the after. What do you guys think?
Actually, some animals do sound like a human screaming, like wolves, fox, mountain lions, among others. Just saying.
The most dangerous cartels in all of Mexico. The United States describes Zeta as the most violent, most depraved, most feared crime cartel group in all of Mexico. They don't just execute, they torture. Their signature for the Zetas is leaving severed heads on stakes and dissolving bodies in acid. They call it cooking. They always say, do you want to go cook tonight? It means they want to go dissolve people in acid.
Ooh.
They will find a busy bridge and hang their competitors on the bridge one by one. You'll see a row of 10 bodies bloodied, just evidence of torture and a painful death, and then hung up like, quote, Christmas lights to send a message. The Zetas, they like their kitchen. They've got kitchens all over the area. Single story abandoned houses with these giant ovens that they use to incinerate their victims. They cook humans and turn them into ash. Outside these kitchens, you will find mounds of gray dirt, human ashes mixed in with fragments of human bones, teeth, and nails. And the Zetas are known for being absolutely brutal. That is what they do. They post videos of their executions on the internet. In one incident, a hitman for the Zetas dismembered a young girl with an axe while she was alive and lit her body on fire in front of her parents. It's said that he did this while laughing and shrugged at the parents and said, "So this is you'll remember me."
So this is you will remember me?
Meaning, don't forget me, because now you will remember me because I dismembered your daughter in front of you. Then he dragged the mom up to kill her the exact same way while forcing the dad to watch. I'm assuming the dad was the target. This is what the Zetas are doing.
What's scarier is that the Zetas were deserted Mexican special forces that were trained by U.S. Special Forces.
Does y'all TikTok search do this too? Like something really weird is going on. I'll be on the app, right? Then I'll type in something like a car or like, let's say Spider-Man. And somehow, some way, without fail, it will be either a thirst trap or a girl shaking butt. Like for instance, I would type in Spider-Man, I'm seeing Sophie Rain in a Spider-Man costume shaking butt. Or like I said, I'll type in a car, as a car I was thinking about buying. I literally see a video of a girl shaking butt in the tint of her car. Like if I was typing in Tyler dance videos or something, I could see thirst traps being like a recommended. But why is Spider-Man equated with Sophie Rain? Why is cars equated with butt? Y'all know when y'all see a video, it could be a movie or something, and then y'all see that blue comment, it says the other POV? Because if y'all didn't know, if you type in the other POV, you can see like the other POV. Or if you type in part 2, you can see the part 2 of the next video. Well, if you do that, it will always take you to the weirdest, like dang near corn type of video. I literally had to block an account because it was that bad. And a lot of y'all might be like, dang, why are you tripping about seeing half naked girl? Because bro, some of us not trying to get tempted. Some people do no fap, some people are on a streak, and we're not trying to see weird stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, why is TikTok doing this? Why is everything always sexual?
Probably the algorithm, bro. The thing is, most of us stumble upon the videos we like but did not search for it. Unlike for thirst traps, it is intentionally being searched for by people.
Oh my gosh. He's talking.
I wasn't crazy.
No.
This bird is talking.
What the heck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
What else could it say?
I don't know. I don't even know
Tweet,
what
tweet,
he's
tweet.
saying. Tweet, tweet. Hey guys. The bird is actually.
It is talking. I swear to God.
We have video.
Listen.
Oh!
He's so cute.
Is it real?
I don't know. Is it like a robot? Like, cause that.
It's a Mina bird. They mimic sounds and talk. It's probably somebody's pet. May want to let your neighbors know.
Okay, I have just arrived in Washington, still alive. But when I told you they were shutting shit down, just look at this. These go for, honestly, miles upon miles, blocks everywhere. And so here it is. And so when the event actually starts, they're gonna block off all of the gaps here. So you basically can't use any of these blocks that they've covered in these fences. So this is the view that I got from an Uber, and as you can see, it just goes. I don't even know where the hell these things end at this point. Yeah, so the event starts in a couple of days. It is so hot here, I probably could die. But yeah, wish me luck, and of course, I'll keep you guys updated.
Feels illegal to be this early. And that's the last time we saw our boy. Bye, Dylan.
You have no idea what you're looking at.
That's the Canaanite high god El, but I guess you're going to try to say it's actually the biblical god, because in the Bible, we see that the author is often called the Lord El. But that really doesn't follow, for the same reason that when we read about Jesus in Gnostic texts, we're reading about the same Jesus in the canonical Gospels. The biblical authors had a completely different theological way to view El, so this statue is not of the biblical god.
I don't know if you know, but ancient humans, hunter-gatherers, used to go around not only hunting and gathering, but they used to be able to perform surgery on one another. They don't teach you that, huh?
Because the most they could do was amputate a limb. I don't think we should say swinging a sharp object at someone's leg is an impressive form of surgery.
They used to literally go around planting forests, spreading the beauty of the earth. I mean, the entire Amazon rainforest is created by ancient hunter-gatherers.
The Amazon rainforest is over 2.5 million years old. Humans
55.
only started inhabiting it about 11,000 years ago. Unless those hunter-gatherers built a time machine, they didn't create the Amazon rainforest.
This is El, a Near Eastern god. Not just any god, he is the Most High God. El Elyon in the Bible is what he's called.
Again, assuming this idol is the same El or Adonai we find in the Bible is like assuming the Jesus of Gnostic texts is the same as the historical Jesus that we find in the canonical Gospels.
He has children. He has Baal. He has Anat.
Yeah, and that's one of the many reasons we know this is not the same El we read about in the Bible.
One of his children, many of you don't know is his children, and it is Yahweh. That's going to really bother a lot of people.
There are no biblical or ancient texts that ever say Adonai was the son of El. That is a conjecture based on insufficient data. Some of our earliest biblical texts, like Numbers 23:8, even tell us that El is just another name for Adonai.
If you don't believe me that El is not the same as Yahweh, and El is the father of Yahweh, then you need to go and read the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Nowhere in the Dead Sea Scrolls does it say that El is the father of Adonai.
It states in there, I believe in Deuteronomy, that Yahweh was not only just one of the children of El, but that El gave him a portion of humanity.
That is not what it says. Verses 8 and 9 say, "When the Most High gave to the nations their inheritance, when he divided mankind, he fixed the borders of the peoples, according to the number of the sons of God. But the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is allotted heritage."
There you go.
Nowhere in this passage do we see the name El.
Yep.
We just see the Hebrew title for Most High. And it also doesn't say the Most High gave Adonai an inheritance, as even Otto Eichfeld had to admit. The author of the song, it is true, when speaking of Adonai's relationship to his people, avoids probably intentionally the application of the hitherto used active verbal form, and so does not say directly that Elyon gave Israel or Jacob to Adonai as his portion, but is content to establish the fact that Israel has become the property of Adonai. And the scholar Mark S. Smith notes the author did not intend a polytheistic outlook, and probably saw El and Elyon simply as two titles for Adonai. In other words, the biblical author of Deuteronomy 32 did not write that El is the father of Adonai, and there's no reason to think he intended that understanding.
Bro, bring receipts. Thank you for making videos about these Sumerians and Billy Carson, because they've been messing with Christians' faith.
I don't know that there's anything left that Einstein predicted that we can still end up finding out is true. Everything has been correct. And in fact, let me tell you how smart Einstein was. In one of his equations, he put in a term that he later regretted putting in, and he called it his greatest blunder. He looked at his equations, and his equations showed that the universe had to be either expanding or collapsing. No one had any idea that the universe would be doing anything. So he says, this can't be right. What the hell are you doing, Albert? Let me put in this term, and he says this term will help stabilize it from collapse. later on, just a couple of years later, Hubble, the man, discovered that in fact the universe was expanding, and he didn't need the term because he could have predicted that the universe should either be expanding or contracting, but he didn't. He put in this term. He said it's his biggest blunder. Now, you know what Einstein's actual biggest blunder is? Saying that that was his biggest blunder.
Yeah.
Because in fact, in 1998, we discovered a pressure in the universe pressing against gravity. That is exactly the term that he put in.
That's
His
not
biggest
a blunder at all.
blunder is thinking he made a blunder.
Einstein believed in the static universe in 1920. George Lemaitre came up with the Big Bang. Einstein worked in the patent office. Everyone knows that.
I tell this story a lot. Out of nowhere, my mother turns to me and goes, "You're not going to school tomorrow." I go, And when my mom growing up, she said something, just how it went down. But we're going on a field trip tomorrow. We're going to Little Vietnam in the city. We were in the burbs. So I go, "But we're going on a field trip. We're going to Little Vietnam. I really want to go." And she goes, "When do you leave?" I go, "First thing in the morning." She goes, "When do you come back?" I go, 3 o'clock. She goes, "You're not in the school at all." I go, "No, we get dropped off. We get on the bus. We come back at the end of the day." She thinks for a long time. She goes, "You can go to school." The next day, there's a true story. May 20th, 1988. A woman walks into my elementary school through the door that my class was in. A woman walked into the school wearing a robe and nothing underneath. The room was empty. She walked through, walked down the hall, walked into another room, shot 7 kids, killed one of them. True story. To this day, my mom cannot explain why she didn't want me to go to school.
Mom's intuition rocks.
Explain this to me. Why are these ducks standing at attention in the rainstorm like they're about to receive marching orders? It's a beautiful rainy day, and these ducks are just frozen solid. It's a 4 out of 5. It's RGP.
Duck feathers are waterproof. Notice they all face the same direction. This is due to the direction of the wind and rain. They conserve heat this way.
This is a hagstone. They say that when you find a stone with a naturally made hole in it from the ocean, that you can look through it and see the mermaids and the fairies on the other side. There is magic all around us.
Okay.
Look at this. Wrinkled peach. Oh, she's so pretty. Oh! Oh my fucking God.
Well, that's an obvious fade portal if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it is.
Just a stairway into some black water? I'm gonna go touch it.
No. Okay, tell me this doesn't look like there was a mermaid sleeping here. Like, look at that. Did I just find a mermaid imprint? I had to have, right? Tell me there wasn't a mermaid right here.
Yes. I believe you.
The most obvious fade trap I have ever seen.
I'm gonna go touch it.
No, Maria, you're gonna get kidnapped.
No one ever goes to the other side of the portals. And those fate traps, someone need to do it.
What happens when you drop a camera 3,000 feet into the ocean?
Don't drop me 3,000 feet into the... I don't want to be there. Oh, we're going to see some crazy stuff. I know it's happening. Right, so we're in the normal part of the ocean where there's a bit of light. And now look. You're in the depths of hell. Oh, we're on the floor. We're on the floor.
Ooh.
Why is there a floating fountain pen in the ocean?
So cool.
I thought it was a pet. Is that a shark? That looks like a bloody Pokemon. What is going on? I don't like this. This is the depths. What fish is that? I've never seen... Look, I thought that was a bloody pen. It ain't even a pen. It's a fish. Something fishy is going on here. I don't like it. And is that a microphone or is it a flashlight in front? Something big's coming. I know. If this is a jump scare, I swear on my life. Oh, it's come back. Oh.
I thought I was gonna see a shark suddenly appear at the end.
I got ghosted on Father's Day. 2 daughters I gave my life to. Not even a phone call. 31 and 25. I guess they're upset because the wife and I are getting an amicable divorce. When I think about what I did for them, their first 20 years, you did the same. Tossed out.
Don't feel like that, bro. Sir?
Grandkids? What grandkids? I've been ghosted.
Never regret what you've done for your kids. It's your job and duty as a father. Continue to be a good father and never place your hope in people, even your own family. Always put your hope in Jesus. He will never disappoint you.
This woman became so skilled at basketball that she never misses a shot. However, people accused her of using magnets in the basketballs, so she decided to prove them
There's
wrong.
been some crazy talk about how there's a magnet in this basketball. I'm gonna prove today that there's no magnet by missing the first attempt and then making the second one. All right, here we go. Don't blink. All right, you happy? You got your miss, right?
She intentionally
Now
missed the
use
first
another
shot,
ball,
hitting the
different
rim and
ball.
bouncing off. But just wait to see what she does next.
Right here. Now what you gotta say? Still a magnet?
But that's not all. She's a member of the Harlem Globetrotters, a basketball team famous for their incredible moves and plays. Check out some of her trick shots here. Can you guess how many tries it took her?
Nobody realizes just how absolutely good at basketball you have to be on the Harlem Globetrotters.
The Appalachia. That shit's horrifying. A lot of people do hike the Appalachian Trail, and one of the main things they all know not to do is to hike from dusk to dawn. Don't go into the mountains after dark. There's a marked trail, stay on it. Do not veer off any trail or path. Everything is marked for a reason.
That's a blaze. 2 inches by 6 inches. It's what we follow. They're everywhere. They may be on a bridge, they may be on a tree. They're usually always on trees, but sometimes they're on the ground, on a rock, on a building, on a light post. That's what we follow. This morning, I didn't follow it. I wasn't paying attention.
There's numerous stories where people said they hear a woman or a baby in distress. And a really common belief is that if you hear something calling you right in your vicinity, it's actually really far away. But if you hear something calling you from far away, there's a good chance it's actually standing right next to you. It's not just screams that's a big deal. Whistling seems to be a big deal also. If you hear whistling, you didn't hear whistling. You're not even supposed to whistle. Tap your friend on their shoulder, but don't use their real name. Using real names just gives whatever it is a closer relationship with whoever's name it learns. Don't ever stare off into the forest. You could be looking at one thing in the forest, but there could be 100 things looking back at you. Anything you hear or see is not your business. Keep doing what you were doing and don't pay any attention to it. Some of the most common sightings in these areas are Bigfoot, skinwalkers, cryptids, and there's even been UFO sightings. Not to forget that this whole area is loaded with caverns and caves too. So it's not just the things that are above the ground that you have to worry about. There's even more stuff underground.
Well, fun and games until you hear the banjos. If you know, you know. Don't go anywhere because we still have fire clips after fire clips back to back.
It turns out that volcanoes are not what we thought they were. They aren't spewing lava from deep underground the Earth's crust. They are actually the dead carcasses of old dragons. And if you don't see it yet, maybe you will now. This is the face of a dragon that died. There are many other examples of volcanoes looking like the faces of dragons, just like this one right here. And that's because they are. Now let's take a look at Mayon Volcano. And what do we have here to the right? It is the head of a dragon. The entire mountain is the dead carcass that exploded, and all that remains that is visible is the head. Here's another one, Mount Vesuvius. We got the dragon on the left, and its mouth is spewing out all of the elements inside of its stomach, which I'll get to soon, and it created this mountain here. Now, I bet you didn't know that there are animals that actually use glycerin and potassium to make fiery explosions that shoot out of their body, usually their butt. Such as the bombardier beetle, which has a reaction going on inside of the back of its body, and then it just like shits out a huge flame of fire. So is it really that hard to think that perhaps there was an animal a long time ago that could shoot flames out of its mouth with just glycerin and potassium? But there we are. Now you know that volcanoes are actually the dead bodies of dragons, and there are chemical reactions going on which create the flames going upward, and it's just basically going on in the animal's stomach. However long this thing died, it was probably like 1,000 years ago.
You're stretching harder than MJ in Space Jam with this one, bro.
Many people are shocked as Will Smith just performed a song that looked like a satanic ritual at the BET Awards. In a recent collaboration with Kirk Franklin and Chandler Moore, Will Smith debuted a supposed gospel song at the BET Awards. However, fans were shocked at the satanic imagery that was displayed at the show, and soon realized that this gospel song didn't even mention Jesus Christ at all. Not to mention, Kirk Franklin was wearing high heels, which caused some to speculate that this could be a part of a humiliation ritual. Although the performance mentions Christian undertones about God and the devil, this does not mean that Will Smith was singing about the biblical God, because he's been very vocal about his New Age beliefs and denies Christianity as the only way to God.
You know, we went through Kabbalah, Scientology, we circled back around to the Quran. We love the idea of spirituality and the study of the love of God. We don't necessarily believe in organized religion. We really just wanted to find the truth.
John 14:6 tells us what the truth really is. Jesus said to him, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." There is no other way to God outside of Jesus. And anyone who tells you otherwise has worshipped a God of their own choosing, which will ultimately lead to eternal separation from the real creator of the universe.
Traitor. And as for Kirk Franklin, him and his organization should be banished. He is leading people astray. Subscribe to Big Nick channel on YouTube. He's a soldier of Jesus Christ.
Said to me, the witches that are trying to kill you spoke to the dirt, and they commanded the earth to swallow your body in premature death. This is why you are feeling the soil going up. If it gets to your head, you are dead. He said, speak to the earth and give it a different instruction. Tell the earth who you are in the kingdom. I took the dirt, and a spirit of prophecy comes upon me. And I say this, these words come out of my spirit. Earth, 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 hear the word of the Lord. Said, I did not know that was exact scripture from the book of Jeremiah. I took the dirt and I put it back in the soil, seed, and I'm telling you, I'll never forget what happened next as long as I live. The dirt I'd been feeling all the way up to my waist now fell to the ground with a thud.
You would have died if you didn't have that revelation.
I would have died that day.
You won't enjoy God until you begin to journey with the Holy Spirit.
It's very easy to get all of the Wi-Fi passwords off of a Windows-based computer. And here's how you do it. From a command line, you're going to run netsh wlan show profile. This will give you a list of all of the Wi-Fi profiles that are on your computer. I'll use a hotel for an example in this case. To get the password for one of these Wi-Fi networks, we run netsh wlan show profile, name equals the name of whatever the Wi-Fi network is, and then we're going to put key equals clear so we get the password in clear text. And here is the Wi-Fi password for that network.
This will only show a password to SSIDs that you have already connected to. I'm a cybersecurity guy, I know.
U.S. military at DARPA has literally just developed the very first fighter jet that runs purely on AI and put it into a dogfight. It's a fly-by-wire fighter jet, which means it's on the grid. We're talking about Skynet now, but Skynet with a consciousness. Isn't that the movie Terminator? Didn't we already watch that movie Terminator? We didn't learn anything from the Hollywood movie. It was a documentary. And now we're living it in real time. We got to be careful. All this tech that we keep getting, way before we are consciously ready to even handle it. We're not spiritually ready to handle a lot of this technology.
There is no way AI will not evolve one day. Even Elon Musk warned on AI.
Drake is at the heart of gang warfare in Toronto. He is the most listened to artist in the world. And even if his image isn't terrifying, in reality, it could be quite different. Since the death of XXXTentacion, people have delved into the darker side of the rapper. Drake has long been considered responsible for the murder due to references in several tracks. His name even came up during the trial of the murderers. Drake is said to be the one spreading terror in his city. He is affiliated with several gangs, such as Pressa's Was gang. This organization is responsible for several kidnappings and shootings, notably against Kodak Black, with whom Drake is no longer on good terms. But that's not all. Top 5, the leader of the GGG gang affiliated with Drake, is recognized as a demon on the streets of Toronto. He even confessed to being the rapper's personal shooter. But in this war, Drake has lost many close friends. This is the case with Anthony Soares. Drake will pay tribute to him by placing his face on the cover of one of his projects.
Drake is no gangster. He is an actor playing a crippled kid in the show Degrassi High. He went to a private school.
When did you first commit fraud? The first loan I did. I became a mortgage broker. I genuinely was broke. Ford Motor Credit is looking for my car. I'm almost a month behind on my mortgage, and I had just become a mortgage broker. This woman had come in. She wanted to borrow money to buy a house. So I said, okay, I took an application on her. I got her W-2s, her pay stubs. I got her verification of rent, verification of deposit for her down payment, put it together in a file, gave it to my manager because she reviewed everything before we sent it off to underwriting so that the lender would review it. And she looked through the whole thing and she took one page out and closed it. And I was like, what's going on? And she goes, the verification of rent on your customer, she's been 30 days late in the last 2 years, which that's a deal killer. No bank wants to lend somebody who's been 30 days late on their rent because you're probably going to be 30 days late on your mortgage, if not more. My manager actually pulled out a whiteout and she said, if I was you, I would white out the 30-day late, make a copy of it, stick it in the file, send it to underwriting. They'll never catch it. This is my manager.
That's why I never trust anyone selling mortgages, life insurance, or anything like that.
Statement from a total stranger in an airport bathroom made a huge impact in my life. I was in an airport bathroom one day, and as I was washing my hands, the guy to my left got the paper towels, and after he dried off his hands, I remember he turned to the sink and began to wipe down the counters and the fixtures of his sink, and it just looked odd. He was dressed in this three-piece suit. He looked really, really sharp, and so I just kind of cracked a joke, and I said, "You've been working here long?" And he kind of smiled, and he said, "You know, it's not a bad idea to leave things a little better than how you found them." And he took his paper towels and he threw them away, and I remember the impact that made on me. And I turned and got my paper towels. I started drying my hands, and I literally turned, and for the first time in my life, I wiped down the sink of a public bathroom. And I started thinking to myself, wow, what a great way to live life. Could you imagine what this world would look like, what our lives would look like if everything we did, we left a little bit better than we found it?
I have a habit of doing that in my own house, and I do it whenever I'm outside too.
Two British brothers who went missing for 40 hours on an Indonesian volcano have been found alive. Matthew and Andrew Forster vanished after attempting to climb 10,000 feet to see the sunrise. Their phones died and they missed their flight home, triggering a huge search and rescue operation. Matthew and Andrew are the sons of Catherine Forster, a GB News correspondent who missed the election coverage on Thursday for the worst day of her life. She's posted on X, "Weak but alive. 3 dozen search and rescue, police, fire saved their lives. The brothers survived by gathering rainwater and building a shelter."
An incident occurred on Mount Agung. They didn't register and didn't go through the official route. We warned them and still went behind our back. It causes a lot of headache. These Westerners, they think they can do whatever they want until this happened. They cried like a little bee at the end. You know, we got tigers up there and big snakes, not to mention deadly mosquitoes.
Forget about Sora, Runway ML just released Gen 3 to the public and the results are wild. This is arguably the best text-to-video right now that anybody can use. However, after seeing the videos, I was still a little bit skeptical, so I decided to check it out for myself to see whether it lived up to the hype. So I paid the $15 for the standard tier and typed in the prompt a hyper-realistic close-up of 2 miniature puppies with horns on a fingertip, and these were the results. It took a few generations, and I then also changed the horns to butterfly wings, and I can definitely say I was blown away by the results, and the examples that I showed earlier are certainly achievable by anybody using this tool.
Wow.
Breaking news around Ray J right now. So before I tell you about the time I met him, let's talk about what's going on in Hollywood. So it's clear to see, and we all know, that Ray J was hanging around Whitney Houston before she passed. So when Whitney passed away at the Beverly Hills Hotel, Clive Davis was downstairs having a party. Ray J has also been seen around Wendy Williams as well. Now let's play some connect the dots. Clive Davis, Diddy, Whitney Houston, Ray J, Wendy Williams, and others. That day that I was late getting ready to meet Diddy, I was taken to go meet Ray J. It was like 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and they took me to this upscale strip club in New York on 34th Street called Rick's. Now, at the time, everything went over my head. I was just kind of like in a haze, and I was like, look, I'm meeting famous people. My dreams are about to happen. But in retrospect, after all that took place, I'm thinking, what was Ray J doing at an upscale strip club at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon on a weekday? And this wasn't your regular ratchet strip club and all that. There were private rooms and women in gowns walking around. So as a music artist, why would I be taken to an upscale strip club to meet someone in the industry at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon?
One thing that people seem to forget is there's a price to pay one day for your crimes.
Prove you're a person. Now, how do you prove you're a person? You admit it. What is a person? A person is no good, Nick. It's not a citizen. They can't prove I'm a person. They can't even prove I'm a human being. They can't prove I'm a natural person either. So let me explain what a human being is. A human being is a monster. And a monster, if you go back in the Ballantyne's Law Dictionary, 1948 version, published by University of Southern California, specifically states, is a human being by birth, and originated in the 12th century when the kings and knights were going across Europe. Along the way they fathered a few children. And to keep those children from inheriting the sovereignty and the thrones, they called them human beings, being like a human. But they do not have the right to hold sovereignty. They cannot be sovereign. That's right out of court cases. So that's why the federal government and the state government both use the term human being. Place in the penal code anymore. Do they use the word citizen? They used to. In 1972, there used to be section 228 of the penal code. It said any citizen who fights a duel cannot vote or hold public office. Section 232 said any person who fights a duel cannot vote or hold public office and has to go to jail for a year, making a legal distinction between a citizen and a person. It's in the penal code. So understanding the difference between person and citizen, how do you bring this to the court's attention? Very simply, you file a judicial notice. You can file as many as 30 judicial notices into court and make the court argue those judicial notices. File a court that I'm not a slave. Judicial notice that I'm not a slave. File judicial notice I'm not a person. File judicial notice I'm not a human being. File a judicial notice that I have no contracts. File a judicial notice, write this down everybody, the new people, Nisi Prius court. All courts in this land are Nisi Prius courts, contract courts, revenue courts. And you have to give the court notice that they are Nisi Prius court, and they can't move forward until they prove that you have the contract and produce a contract. You can do that. We've had judges accept it. We had a judge in Santa Barbara said, yes, we're in East Korea's court. But my buddy, he didn't. Then the judge went on to the next judicial notice, and he didn't stop. Remember? But he had the court. He should have stopped right there, prove the contract. No matter what you do, if you do it right, non-assumption, file judicial notice, non-assumption. Non-assumption means no contract. We do everything by judicial notice as a motion to dismiss. You can file as many motions to dismiss as you want. Quorum nobis. You can do quorum nobis up from now till the end of time. Every time the judge does a mistake, you think is a mistake, do a writ of certiorari. There's many different ways to keep the ball in your court and make them start proving everything. That's the key element to make the other side prove every single element. Officer, would you, under penalty of perjury, will you tell me what you saw? Well, I saw this motor vehicle. Objection. Define what motor vehicle is, according to law. Since you saw it, that's only hearsay what you saw. Let's define it what according to the law. What is it? Well, I was told that everything four wheels is a motor vehicle. That's not what the court said. What does the court say a motor vehicle is? What's the case name, Steve?
Geico.
Geico Insurance versus
Carrier's insurance.
Carrier Insurance. The vehicle means commercial, according to the California bill. So he's got to prove you're involved in commercial activity. Officer, was I involved in any commercial activity the time you stopped me? No. Was I driving a tractor, trailer rig, or anything, bus or anything? No. You weren't involved in anything commercial that I know of. Thank you, officer. Next question. Officer, did you go to the police academy? Yes, I did. How long was your police academy? 6 months. Did they teach you the laws that you were enforcing? Yes, they did. Do you think you're an expert in enforcing those laws that you were taught to enforce? Yeah, I know the laws I'm supposed to enforce. Thank you. Now you got it.
Definitions and grammar are very important when filing and dealing with this corrupt system against the people. All right, folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. There's a free gift below. And if you want to buy me coffee or support me through Patreon, the links are also in the description below. Thank you for watching and have a prosperous day and God bless.
What are you doing?
It slipped. Am I not allowed to walk in peace?
No, you have to hold.
Sorry, your hands are getting a little bit sweaty.
Is there somebody here you want us to be holding hands?
Bez, your hands are just sweaty. It's not.
Letting go of my girlfriend's hand to see her reaction.
Why did I go of my hand? You know what they have? You can't see how many people are here.
Oh, it's kind of sweaty, mama.
Letting go of my Gia hand while eating.
I'm sorry, but I just need to eat.
How could you let go of my hand?
I need to use my chopsticks, and I can't hold them with my left hand.
Letting go of my girlfriend's hand while walking.
Excuse me.
Excuse.
Why? Your hand's getting a little sweaty. Yeah, it's a little sweaty. I was sleeping inside of her.
What? Why'd you make her?